Hey guys, today we are here on Space Marine 2 to talk about the current state of Heraldry in the vanilla game, how Saber has kind of dropped the ball on cosmetics, and the new Astartes Overhaul update with the extended armor mod. Now, the guys at Warhammer's Workshop have been cooking this up for quite a while, and this is quite frankly the best piece of customization in this game, period, from any source, DLC or otherwise, and they should be beyond proud of themselves. I will leave a link to the official mod page for the Astartes Overhaul alongside the community cosmetic overhaul, and if you go to their official Discord, you can find pages to directly support them. And I would suggest you do, because I have, and these guys are pretty much unpaid labor to go in and put in significant time investment for these things. A lot of people seem to agree because they have been getting more and more support, especially after this patch, as they should, because they should be proud of themselves. This is phenomenal work, and I think it really points out that Saber Interactive, their current cosmetic DLC, has been at best lazy, at worst extortionary, because things like $8 for an Imperial Fish champion pack, this is just unreasonable to me, because you get like what, one armor model on top of like a single skin. I'd say the Dark Angels one that was also $10, assuming, you God forbid, didn't pay for the season pass and like you're buying these individually, which comes out to like what, maybe $80 of cosmetics at this point, which is ridiculous. But the Dark Angels one was a little bit better. You get the champion skin. You also get some stuff for like your weapons and all the Astartes chapters. But overall, I just want to say the new Astartes overhaul they have done, this is, I feel like a kid on Christmas. That's really the best way I'm going to put it, because the whole reason I play Space Marine 2, or a huge reason, is, first of all, I like the combat. I like ramping up spawns. That's something I enjoy doing, but I also love playing dress up with Space Marine, because there's really no point to playing a Warhammer game about Space Marines if you don't care at all about the chapters. And I'd say like a good 90% of players care about customization in like their third-person action games, especially. This isn't like Darktide, where they release an extortionary cosmetic piece and you can't see it because you're in first person the whole time. And when you're playing Space Marine 2, you're seeing your Space Marine body guys in the third person. And with the Astartes Overhaul, you can now do things like the Sanguinary Guard. They have added new slots, or I should say they've created slots to choose your helmets, choose your accessories for your helmets, hoods, choose your head. Not all of these are lore accurate, because you can not only play as a Viltrumite, but you can also play as a female Astartes. And the point is here that you have options, and options are something I feel like we're severely lacking in the base game. But like the vanilla cosmetics have just become rather bland, and when they do put out things, I would be curious to find out, because I'm not a modder for this game, I'll be honest, so I don't know the exact like time investment it takes to make some of these helmets. But for things like the Mark 8 Errant helmet, where really all they did was it seemingly change the texture and take some parts off the model, I can't imagine that took very long, because even the Astartes Overhaul, they took off the Dark Angel stuff for this Mark 8 helmet, the Ravenwing version, which I think looks significantly better. And there's just like a few little quality of life things they did as well here that I'm going to go into, because even though this isn't like really cosmetics, they've put some color coding in for the perks here. Like now it says, okay, it's ranged. It has a color code for a little like light green range damage, increases by 10%. And they've already talked, I believe this is in the vanilla game, for like the 10%. That like the color coding for that is already there, but like pointing out the players like what the important language is in these things, especially for like people that might struggle to see from their TV, I feel like that's really good, because there's a lot of stuff that people talk about in this game that just like it's just a misreading of the perk information. So it's just UI stuff like this that I feel like they could get an intern to do. But the Astartes Overhaul guys, they went above and beyond, and that was really cool to see. And I mean, I'm just gonna go, I'm kind of tangenting here, but I'm like a kid on Christmas, guys. What can I say? This is some of the best cosmetic stuff I've ever seen for this game, and I'm excited to make all new outfits with this, and even like some Terminator stuff. So pretty much this is what you have options for on, like, let's say, where are we on tactical right now, where you can go all the way down your customization tree, even into like Iron Warriors and Black Legion alongside Night Lord, or I believe this is actually a Corn Berserker. This is Night Lords. But the point is, you have a bunch of head options now. You can also change the shield icons for players. I haven't really checked the actual balancing in this mod, so I assume like if you're able to do this, you're probably able to use shields on the classes now. And you can also have like your war gear options. And really, when you look at this stuff compared to the recent update they did with the prestige system, where they really want you to put in like 10 hours to get what comes out to be like recolored tabards, like this is the cosmetic bonus, or maybe not this one. Where is it? I don't think it's even in here, but the Prestige 4 cosmetic option for the tactical and the base game is literally just a recolored tabard, and I think the most abysmal one is probably on the good old, well, it's an eliminator here, but the sniper in the base game. Now, in the case of Sniper here, after like 10 hours of work, you will get blessed with a Prestige 4 orange cape that doesn't fit half the armor colors in this game. And I just feel like this is kind of lazy work here. I don't think that's like really a hot take to say, because when you look back like 15 years ago at this point, I'm going to go back to Halo Reach all the time, because this game was pretty much hailed as like the second coming of old guard games like Halo, like Gears of War, where it was just a campaign. You had your cosmetics. It was all DLC packs that came out. But even then, Halo Reach had some of the best cosmetic options for your armor unlocks, and like you really felt like a high level player in Halo Reach. Was like, you could tell immediately that this guy had like a flaming helmet. He had some like absurdly cool looking armor pieces, and he looked nothing like a lower level player. And that's really healthy for a game, assuming it's not all like pay to win stuff, and like it's a reasonable grind, and like there's enough cosmetic options for everybody regardless of playtime, which I think this game did a fairly good job at. But the overall issue I have is that it just feels lazy the further we've gotten into the life cycle of the game, and really I feel like that's because they've moved a lot of people over to work on Space Marine 3. And one of the biggest complaints in this game about the champion skins is that these things are totally non-customizable. You cannot change any of the armor parts. They are not only, priced pretty highly, but they're also just locked to a single class that you might not even like to play. And that is not only pretty lame, but we've also seen now in the Astartes Overhaul, they have taken things like the Space Wolf champion skin and moved parts of that onto the actual armor models for the shoulder for every class, or even now you can have the helmet of the wolf helmet that a lot of people don't like. Maybe I'll make a video on this one day, because this is like one of the most recent and like a long-running controversies in Warhammer 40k tabletop in general. But like the fact that they've done this just shows that it is possible. You could have things like the champion skins kit bashed onto different classes, and really we should bear in mind that even though mod authors do have less overhead than the actual developers do, the developers should also in theory have easier access to changing all these models than a mod author could ever hope for. And even though this game does have like pretty decent mod support, this should be easier for Saber to do than anybody else, and they just don't, because they know they don't have to, because they know people are going to buy it anyways. And I'm guilty of this. I mean, I bought all of these as well. But while you shouldn't really flame a company, because a company is a group of people, especially with like a skeleton crew that's like running this game, I don't think it's really fair to just like shit on every single individual employee. They are employees after all. But at the same time, the company is Saber Interactive. They are trying to sell you something. This is a product, and if you don't think the product is good enough, or if you accept any product at any level, because if they could sell you something that is literally just like, let's say if they had the ability to sell you the Mark X Tacticus, if it's anywhere here, wherever it may be, the skull, the recent community event skull armor they had, this one, if they could have sold you this for $40 and gotten away with it, they would have, because that's what they want. They want your money. So if you want to give them their money, if you're willing to pay for something from them, then you should let them know that like when something is not up to par in quality, and then you'll get something of higher quality hopefully in the future. But that is all I have to say in this video. You can find links to the Astartes Overhaul again in the description below. You guys should really check it out, because its customization really is second to none. You can also find links to my Twitch stream. I will also stream here on YouTube. And I also want to say thank you all to my channel members for helping this channel grow, and the support you've given me over the past months. It's been much appreciated. And also, if you like content like this, subscribe for more. And as always, thanks for watching. Peace.